Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Fuel community. So it's Monday and it's October 10th, and let's have a quick look at what we talked about on Friday. So we had the Rocket Pool was in the daily GUI. We had more info about EigenLayer and more discussion around that. We talked about how the ODAO could hurt Rocket Pool as well as the PDAO. We need more node operators. That was true on Friday. That's still true now. Calurduran might run for the GMC. We're going to be talking about that. Maybe I will too, but I'm not exactly sure yet. We had 69.420 nodes in the smoothing pool, percent of nodes in the smoothing pool. So that was nice. There was a hack on Binance Smart Chain, and Celsius put everyone's names on the internet. So that was Friday. So today we've got a jam-packed episode full of a whole lot of things. The first thing is this update from the team who have arrived in Bogota and have started meeting up with people. So here we have people from the team and enjoying some drinks and a meal in Bogota, and they're all out there. So that's really nice to see. We're already getting snippets of information of things that are going to happen out there. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of events scheduled for out there. So bi-weekly Bogota special, DevCon promoting small stakers, how to build decentralized something or other, and does it make sense something or other as well. So there's at least 3 events taking place from Bogota, 3 events and a 4th like a special chat. So that's really nice to see. So yeah, the teams at DevCon is really great. In other news, we had the Grants and Bounties Management Committee, the GMC, hit quorum. So we got 5,000 votes in support of that. So that means that is now official policy of the PDAO. And the next steps is to put together the committee, and people, I guess, will volunteer themselves, and that will go to a vote. So that's full steam ahead now with the Grants and Bounties Management Committee. So that's really exciting to see. As I said, I might put my name forward for it. I still haven't decided yet, but if I do, I'm sure it's going to be fun. So let's have a look next. So talking about management committees, here we have a report, the first report from the IMCs, which is the Incentive Management Committee. And if we go to the forum, we can see Waldorf wrote this post. He says, as IMC treasurer, I'm supposed to publish prospective budgets and retrospective reports in each period. This is the first retrospective report. To follow along, please look at the dashboard, and then there's a Dune Analytics dashboard, and shout out to Dr. Worm and Sleety. So how are we looking? They said we saw a doubling in the order size you can place with a 1% impact, about 5,265 ETH at the end of the period. So what does this mean? So if you, it means how much ETH can you sell and only impact the price on slippage by 1%. So right now that's, well, it might be a bit more than this now, but 5,265 ETH you'd have to sell to get 1% of slippage movement, which is absolutely fantastic. And that's doubled from before the incentives started. Total liquidity has gone from 14,400 to 21,300 at the end of the period, with the vast majority of these gains coming on Balancer, where we've been incentivizing. We saw some improvement in our PEG early, then since the merge hit, our market has been tracking the burn mint very closely. Good stuff. We significantly underspent our budget by about 2,000 RPL. This is because we didn't get a concentrated liquidity trial off the ground, nor did we get to do any co-incentives as we'd hoped. Just to set expectations, do not expect changes this big next period. We're going to be largely maintaining with little additions or variations. If you want the full details down to transaction hashes, head to and then there's a tab to the Google Sheet. So thank you, Valdo, for putting that information together. It's great that the IMC's impact was so drastic so quickly. I really hope once, I'm hoping it carries on the way it is. Of course, Waldorf's tempering our expectations, saying from now on it'll more be about stability rather than huge growth. So that's good to see. We had this post from RK who said, looking ahead to LEB 8, LEB8s, if I convert over from a current 16 ETH mini pool to 2 LEB8s, my RPL per mini pool goes down by 2x, by half, and the required goes up from 1.6 ETH to 2.4 ETH. So essentially I need to be over 30% RPL staked. And Marceau says correct, and Zero says that sounds about right. About 10% collateralization to 30% collateralization. And RK says thanks, I just added a couple of mini pools and now I'm below 150%. So I'm thinking of adding RPL to get closer to 150% before the next rewards period, before the wall is exhausted, but wanted to plan ahead for LEB8s. So this actually started off a really good discussion about the collateral and about going down to LEB4s and maybe eventually down to LEB2s, and about how many more validators we would and wouldn't need. So each 16 ETH that is deposited now into each 16 ETH now that is put forward as a node operator, their 16 ETH now mints 16 RETH. However, with LEB8s, that would go up to each 16 ETH from the node operator would be minting 48 RETH. So it's a 300% increase, like a 3x increase in how effective it is at getting RETH onto the market. LEB4s, that will be even more drastic. So it'll be, just give me 1 second, I can work this out. 28. Yeah, for each 16 ETH that the node operator puts forward, we'll be able to lift 112 RETH, which is absolutely amazing. So I don't think we'd need to go much further than that. And then Zero says I think we'll still need more validators even at 4. So this is a really good discussion where people were talking about the mix between RPL collateralization and LEBs and all that good stuff that's going to be happening, and we're hoping that it will be by the end of the year or beginning of next year, hopefully before withdrawals go live on the Ethereum main chain. So next we have this post from Valdorf, who was replying to denum.eth asking when enforcement was going to happen for MEV opt-in, and then Joe replied by saying phase 2 is now in testing, and so far so good. So what's phase 2? Let's have a quick reminder. It says in phase 2, MEV Boost is enabled by default for all node operators. Node operators can elect to use one or more of the trusted relays listed above, but cannot use a custom untrusted relay. Node operators that choose to opt out of MEV Boost must do so explicitly before starting the smart node. This phase is estimated to begin October 2022, so we're on track for that now. And then once that's out and everything is set, then we'll be going to phase 3, which is when everyone will be required to run at least one relay. So that's really good to see. Next, we had this comment from, this post on the governance forum by Marceau. He says, should we build a new community-led website? I'd like to gauge community sentiment on whether or not it's appropriate or beneficial for the community to build an alternative website presence to rocketpoo.net. This is largely an extension of the thread by Noshua. Can rocketpoo.net be open source? Some background: we've had solid community efforts in terms of branding and website building, notably from Sleety, coop.eth, and clever.eth. You can see examples of these here, and here. There's also strong community interest in getting an open source website for transparency and community contributions, and an alternative front end for the official site for decentralization. And then Marceau lists some pros and cons. Example being, we can improve our web presence, we can get community contributions, take some burden off the team to focus on other work, help contribute to a healthy decentralized community-owned protocol, and .fi is much better than the .net, and that's Marceau's opinion. And negative is this may duplicate effort, it may introduce new security risks if we're not careful, and it may create branding confusion if we diverge from our official branding too much. So the question is, yes, we should do this. No, it's not worth it. An overwhelming response is 91% people say yes, we should do this, and 9% of people say no, we shouldn't. And Marceau follows on by saying, to be specific, I registered the rocketpoo.fi website over the summer and currently have it pointed to a GitHub pages repo that could take pull requests from the community. GitHub insufficiently bullish rocketpoo.fi. We could potentially build on this to make a new new web presence. In particular, I'd like to get the team's take on this idea, and then Marceau tag team members. Would you support it? Take steps the distance, endorse it. What would you say? And then community members replied overwhelmingly saying that it has their support and they're in favor of it. Some tentatively, some overtly, like strongly in favor of it. And it's already got a good discussion going on, which is fantastic to see. So if you have any opinions about that, please go into the governance forum and drop in your ideas there. I'm sure they'll be well received. Next, we had this post from Ramana, who talked about, we mentioned last week on Rocket Fuel, talking about how they're working on an ARB contract. If the deposit pool is full and there's a big premium, you can potentially mint and sell RETH. No, start your node and mint RETH within the same block from the 16 ETH that takes up, and then sell that to get a nice little bonus back. So Ramana says, I implemented a Rocket Pool deposit pool ARB contract today, very untested. I did it to get a run in development mainnet fork though. I'll probably test it properly in Goerli tomorrow or next week. Comments welcome, and then there's a link to GitHub. And we had some really good discussion that came up around this. So let me see if I can find. Oh no, actually, let me just skip to the next tab because I'm actually prepared this time. So Ramana goes on to say some thoughts about the deposit pool ARB, because he could easily add Balancer 2 as an alternative to Uniswap. Is that worthwhile? Probably don't want to find the best deal in the contract though. Keep it simple and instead leave it to the user to pick their pool. As implemented, anyone could use this to ARB the deposit pool, provided it's got space for 16 ETH. With a free flash loan probably going to be my capital. Is that fine, or should we charge for it and e.g. send a small fee to the smoothing pool? Of course, when the deposit pool is full, only a mini pool depositor can do it. Maybe the ETH amount should be customizable in anticipation of less ETH bonded pools. I have no idea about gas optimization. I should look into that next. And then Marceau gave some feedback, says, seems fine to do just 1 inch. I'd keep it simple. Yeah, I don't know about this. And that's point number 2 about people who can or can't ARB it. I don't know about this. Honestly, I'd rather see this driven by the bounty program where they could reward your work. Also put up the 16 ETH. I suppose there should be an option to redeem the balance if when this contract is made obsolete. Yeah, all the more reason for number 2 to be worthwhile. And then Wanda says, please don't provide the capital yourself. The PDAO can do it. And this actually led up to a really good discussion where people were talking back and forth about it and different ideas and how it would work. And eventually it led to Marceau tagging Kane, who's one of the developers at Rocket Pool. And he's just curious to hear your thoughts on this. The point here is that it's important for node operators to be able to capture the ARB trades for premium, mini pool creation, and discount mini pool withdrawal in order to properly defend the RETH peg. As such, I would suggest that we should integrate this ARB capture directly into the mini pool creation withdrawal process, so it's fairly accessible by everyone, not just MEV bots. Makes sense to tightly integrate this into the CLI and smart contracts for max fairness. Ramana is starting to build out the premium ARB here, and then there's a link to the GitHub. In my opinion, in a perfect world, this would just happen seamlessly by the protocol, where it would just claim that profit if it exists, and tight technical integration into the protocol. And then Kane, I think, came back and responded, but I don't have that comment here. It's somewhere. But this is a really great discussion that you should go and check. Oh, here's Kane. He says, I agree with you on the importance, especially on the withdrawal side, for the node operator withdrawing to receive the ARB profit, as it aligns incentives correctly to maintain the peg. Otherwise, there isn't an incentive to withdraw validators, even if the market price of RETH was significantly lower than the ratio. I like Waldorf's idea, stabilizing the soft peg. Have I missed further discussion on this? And then, there's more discussion on that. So definitely go and check that out if you can. I think you'd really like reading that. It's very informative. Another thing is Waldorf started this thread below trading called Rocket Pool Effectiveness thread. And so it turns out that a lot of the rocket pool nodes are doing pretty badly in terms of their effectiveness rate and how they're accruing awards. So it says just looked on rated.network. And then the rocket pool page for that using 7-day check, some really big pools. So this pool is 2.5% of the whole rocket pool, and it's got 90% effectiveness rate. This one's 2.1%, it's got 88% effectiveness rate, and this one is 0.31% of the pool and has 28% effectiveness rate, which is absolutely terrible. And Valdov goes on to say this is actually costing our ETH rewards, and there's a discussion coming up about how we can try to improve that. And this kind of goes on to what Rocket Luke was saying last week as well, about trying to get people to be more effective, and how this is something that would help people a lot with potentially not too much work. So it's really good to see that these discussions have started, and if you want to take part in that, then that's taking place under trading on it's a thread called RP effectiveness thread under trading. So go ahead and check that out. Next, we had this nice comment from Marceau. He says, I'm hosting a $2,000 RPL party at Marceau Island, summer of 2024, nudity required. So this is kind of a joke about Marceau buying an island when RPL reaches $2,000. Of course, at $2,000, Marceau will be a very, 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 very rich man, which is I'm really happy for him, and we'll all be rich people hopefully by then. And I always have joked that I'm going to build a little shack on the edge of the island and call it the Wax Shack. So George says now the Wax Shack makes sense, and plenty of time to practice being nude at a party. So this was actually like a really nice little it really was a fun way of people kind of being bullish, right, and talking about what it might look like and how it might go, and how we're all going to party with Marceau. I made the suggestion that we should set up a rocket pool conference where everybody comes and meets up if the price is above $500 at a certain date. Hopefully that will work out, but at the moment, sorry, I couldn't find that comment, so it's there somewhere. But we'll do something like that. That should be fun. I think spending 10 or 15 RPL tokens on a really nice trip somewhere, all of us together, would actually be really great. So that's something to look forward to as well. But I'll see you all at Marceau's Island, which would be really great. Okay, so Sleety shared some logos. He said, fired up Illustrator and made several rocket sketches based on Ethereum's logo and a concept implementation. Thumbs up or thumbs down? So we have these really beautiful logos that you can see here. They're kind of like rockety and diamondy, and they look really good. And then it's got the rocketpoo.fi logo with a colored version of the logo that looks really cool. The community was very happy with this. It got lots and lots of positive emojis, and it really started up a nice discussion. And I think people are really, really happy about some of the branding stuff that Sleety's doing and that's happening in the community, and kind of excited about this RocketFi thing taking off. If you have a look, there's and then other people got involved as well. Let me see here. Dougie.eth kind of made some designs as well that look really good, and I think people were just getting really excited about it. I think it's something that definitely makes sense. This logo looks particularly good, if you can see on the video, and I think they're kind of inspired by the NASA stuff and space stuff, and it works really well. So good job, Sleety, as always. Your artwork is beautiful, and I'm really excited to see how it will look on rocketpool.fi. Oh, and this is working on marketing strategy for 2023. And then there's that logo that we just talked about, and this is Rocket Pool, get in loser, stake with us, and not Lido, for fuck's sake. So FFS. So that's really, and this is up only in the corner. It's just a really nice artwork. It looks really cool, and I always say, Sleety's wonderful. So that's really great to see. Okay, so this is like I'm doing one last reminder, but it's already too late. So last call, 32 people are registered for the Rocket Pool chess tournament, and it's open now. Registration for a few more hours. However, as of recording, the registration is closed, and I'm already making moves in my games. And it's nice that the tournament is ongoing. Tennismvp.eth went on to share an audience link, so you can just go and like watch some of the games. But I'm sorry, I can't find that right now. So it's there somewhere. I think like after a few hours after the post I just mentioned. But that's definitely something for you to check out. Like I think it's a really cool community thing. So I have 10 games of chess going on right now. I have to make one move a day minimum, and some of them I've already made like 10 moves. So that's going to be really exciting. Next, we had this comment from me, kind of linking to the ultrasound.money website and the idea that was happening over the weekend with the Zen crypto burn. I said it's amazing to see how quickly the issuance we've had since the merge is getting eaten away. We used to have 14,000 ETH mined a day. We haven't had that in the near month since the merge happened. Truly incredible. And Marceau had this really great comment that I think I've heard elsewhere as well. And he said, capped issuance, uncapped burn. I think I heard that on Bankless, but I'm not sure. And if Marceau, if you came up with that, I'm sorry I didn't give you credit for that. But that's a really great idea of like a really, really great way of putting it, is that issuance only goes up by, say, I think 1,000 ETH a day, or like 2,000 ETH a day or something like that. And the burn could be thousands of ETH a day, which is what we're seeing right now, like 2,000 ETH a day. So even though the issuance is capped, the burn is uncapped. So a couple of days of good burning can undo literal weeks worth of issuance. So that's really wonderful to see that that's happening, and you know that it's working the way it is. So let's move on from there. Next we had, I'm giving the shout out to denum.eth because his screen name was featured on Rocket Fuel, but today I'm just going to mention his name as well. So hi, thanks for watching. Next we have this comment from calurduran, who links to this link on Discord here and says, do I get a poap for pointing out this awesome thing that you're doing surely otherwise would not have known? And it's a link to my post where I started the contributors thing. I said, hi everyone, I have a quick comment for those who might have missed it in today's Rocket Fuel. Schifrin was kind enough to design this poap below. I'll give this poap every month for people who share a story with me or tag me in a comment around the conversation that is taking place. If your contribution makes it to the following episode of Rocket Fuel, I'll give you a shout out during the episode and distribute the poap to you at the end of the month. It's my way of saying thank you for bringing key piece of information to my attention. And because of that, I had people like Schifrin shared links with me about Sleety's designs, and Marceau shared link with me about the new website, and we also had Superdouche sharing information with me about Ramana's ARB contract. So that was really great. Next we have this information today. I posted an episode of Launchpad that you might not have seen. It said, today I bring you the latest episode of Launchpad, Rocket Fuel's interview series. In the episode I interview Wanda about how we got into crypto and Rocket Fuel, the Node Operator Association, and a lot more. You can watch it here, and then there's a YouTube link where you can watch it. And please give me a retweet if you don't mind, and then there's a link to the tweet promoting that as well. So I think it was a really great conversation. Like, we talked for an hour and a half, but the time just flew by. Like, it was really great to talk about how Wanda got into crypto, when he got into crypto, how we got into Rocket Pool, and like the amazing bet he took on Rocket Pool last summer, and how it's worked out for him really well. And and all the work he's doing with Noah and staking as service stuff, that's absolutely fantastic. So make sure you listen to that. There'll be more episodes coming soon, and I'm working on planning 2 right now, and a 3rd one I'm going to be starting on planning soon as well. So there's a lot of really great stuff coming up for Launchpad, so keep that in mind. And finally, before this episode finished, I just wanted to give a shout out to 2 community members, to Joe and Kevster. We love both of you at Rocket Fuel, and I know most of the community has nothing but positive thoughts for both of you. And I know things are a bit tough for both of you right now, so I just wanted to give a shout out to you and send love from myself and from everyone who's watching this. So if you are watching this, I hope, and we all hope, that things get easier for you guys soon, and we'll always be here whenever you need us. So on that note, I hope you're all having a great start to the week, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.